Hi, I'm Jerry James Stone. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make delicious asparagus Parmesan fries. This is a lovely sort of side dish or appetizer, however you want to do it. It's really easy to make, and it's just a fun way to celebrate asparagus. I think you're going to like it, but let me show you how. So the first thing we need to do for making these fries is we need to trim up our asparagus. Now, I'm going to kind of go over this a little bit. You've probably been told that you can just pick up the asparagus and bend it from the ends. The problem with that method is you waste a lot of asparagus. So let's just talk about the anatomy of asparagus for a second. When you buy it from the store, you'll see kind of towards the bottom part, it feels a little woody, like compared to the rest of the part of the asparagus, and it gets this kind of purplish white area. You just need to trim that off. It's actually best just to do it with a knife. So what I try to do is just line up the asparagus as best as I can, because even though I probably waste a little bit doing this method, you waste a whole lot less. And then I just take the knife and cut it off. Goes out of the way. Oops. And finish it all. If you're left with anything that still has the white part after you do that, just trim it off, but you'll actually waste a lot less asparagus that way. So before we batter the asparagus, we're actually gonna just take a baking sheet and we're gonna spray it with a thin layer of cooking spray, because we're gonna be taking asparagus that's been rolled in flour, dipped in egg, and then crusted with like breadcrumbs and cheese, so we just really don't want it to stick to the baking pan. Just go ahead and put a light layer on there. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna roll the asparagus in just regular flour. Just get it as coated as you possibly can. So after you prepare the asparagus, you don't wanna make sure it's too dry. You want it to be a little bit wet just so the flour will stick to it. If it's not wet enough, just take a damp paper towel and roll it around in that real quick. Okay, so we covered the asparagus in flour. The next step is to cover it in egg. We're gonna take a couple eggs, whisk them so they're completely scrambled, and then just dredge the asparagus through that. And dip it in there, and then we're gonna dip it into the panko, crumb, and cheese mixture. So we're gonna make our crust, essentially. So we're gonna start off with some panko breadcrumbs. I like those because they're a little crunchier, a little thicker than the traditional like Italian style breadcrumbs, but you can use whatever you have. Then we're gonna mix in some grated Parmesan cheese. Now, it's really important, it's very, very important actually. I recommend grating your own for this, because if you buy the pre-grated stuff, a lot of times that has like a cornstarch film on it to prevent it from sticking together, which makes it not melt as nicely. We're just gonna mix that together. If you want to add in salt and pepper, now's the time to do it. I don't think this recipe needs it because you have the Parmesan cheese, which has a lot of flavor, but if you like your food salty, now's the perfect time to add it in. Just add a bit in, give it a taste and see if you like it. Dip the asparagus in the egg, and then roll it in the breadcrumb and Parmesan mixture, and then place it on the baking sheet. And just do that for all the asparagus. While you're doing this, your fingers are gonna get really disgusting because it's gonna have flour and egg and breadcrumbs stuck to them the whole time. It drives me absolutely crazy. So when you're placing them on the baking sheet, the part that's really important is that you do a single layer. They can be fairly tight on the sheet next to each other. You just don't want to stack them at all. And just keep putting them on. And then once they're all placed on the sheet, we're gonna bake them in the oven at 425 degrees for about 10 minutes, just till they're nice and crispy and golden brown. Oh, and by the way, so asparagus, as you probably know, it has a very short season and it's very, very expensive. It's not cheap by any means. So be sure to check out my video on how to store it properly, and it'll last in the refrigerator for weeks. It's easy and it keeps it fresh. So as I said, you just want to bake this at 425 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. Okay, so just got out of the oven. Just gonna go ahead and take, oh, it's so nice and crunchy. Like I can just hear it as I scrape it off the baking sheet. I think you guys are really gonna like this. By the way, if you like to cook like I do, I release new videos every single week with like cooking hacks to fun recipes, everything that's vegan and vegetarian. So be sure to subscribe. If there's something that you want to see, drop a comment below. And if you like this video or this recipe, give me a thumbs up. It smells so good. It's like, you can just smell like crunchy Parmesan cheese. Get that last little bit on there. I'll let the pan cool and I eat the little bits off the top. Wonder if it's too hot to try. Nope, and it's really good. Okay, I'll see you guys next time.